Good morning, I'm Melissa Harris Perry. I want to talk today about a controversial word. It's a word that has been with us for years. And like it or not, it's indelibly printed in the pages of American history. A word that was originally intended as a derogatory term, meant to shame and divide and demean. The word was conceived of by a group of wealthy white men who needed a way to put themselves above and apart from a black man, to render him inferior and unequal, and to diminish his accomplishments. President Obama has been labeled with this word by his opponents. And at first he rose above it, hoping that if he could just make a cause for what he'd achieved, his opponents would fail in making their label stick. But no matter how many successes that he had as president, he realized there were still many people for whom he'd never be anything more than that one disparaging word. A belief he knew was held not just by his political opponents, but also by a significant portion of the American electorate. And so he decided, if you can't beat him, you gotta join him. And he embraced the word and made it his own, sending his opposition a message they weren't expecting. If that's what you want me to be, I'll be that. Y'all know the word that I'm talking about. Obamacare. That's right, I said it and I'm not ashamed, and neither is President Obama, because he knows that of all his victories over 2 terms in office, his legacy is ultimately going to be remembered for this one single word. I mean, what do you call the president who rescues the U.S. auto industry? Obamacare. What do you call the president who finally eliminates Osama bin Laden? Obamacare. What do you call the president who ends Don't Ask, Don't Tell? Say it with me. Obamacare. Heard the one about the president who pulled us out of the greatest recession since the Great Depression? Yep, Obamacare. And what about the one, about the president who reduced drug sentencing disparities? Obamacare. Stop if you have heard this one. A group of underpaid women and the president who passed a pay equity law walk into a bar. Okay, you see where I'm going with this. Short of bringing about world peace before he leaves office, the Affordable Care Act will loom large in the president's legacy as the singular accomplishment of his 2 terms. And now, following the relaunch of a new and improved and fully operational healthcare.gov website, the president is not only owning it, but doubling down and putting a bright spotlight on the Obama in Obamacare. This week, the White House announced that it's going to be all ACA every day from now until December 23rd enrollment deadline for coverage on January 1st. Starting with the president himself, who has been pulling his best Rick Ross, hustling almost every day this week to make the hard sell on the Affordable Care Act. This was his pitch on Tuesday.
I'm going to need some help in spreading the word. I need you to spread the word about the law, about its benefits, about its protections, about how folks can sign up. Tell your friends, tell your family. Do not let the initial problems with the website discourage you.
And this was President Obama on Wednesday.
I'm going to need you all to spread the word about how the Affordable Care Act really works, what its benefits are, what its protections are, and most importantly, how people can sign up. I know people call this law Obamacare, and that's okay, because I do care, and I do.
And this was President Obama on Thursday.
My advice to everybody is, the website's now working. Go to healthcare.gov. Take a look for yourself in your state, what's available to you. There is no reason why you should not have health insurance.
See, I wasn't exaggerating. Every day he's hustling. And over the next 3 weeks, if you go a day without hearing from President Obama on Obamacare, you can be sure it's because he's passed the mic to Democratic members of Congress, the Democratic National Committee, Democratic congressional campaign committees, or advocacy organizations to help him deliver his message. And if you miss the message on television, the White House has promised that you'll find it on Facebook and Twitter, even in your inbox. After an early fumble with the rollout, this is President Obama on offense, driving hard to penetrate the GOP defensive line. And he is playing to win.